Good afternoon, everyone. iTech India welcomes all the participants for today's National Distance Learning Seminar. Today's topic is improving retention to ART, and the speaker is Dr. Sudhir Chawla. Dr. Sudhir Chawla is currently working as the Joint Director, CST Division, Gujarat SACS. He has obtained his MBBS degree from SPMC Bikaner, DPH from Medical College Vadodara, and PG Diploma in HIV Medicine from IGNOU. We welcome you, sir, for today's session.
Thank you, Shweta. Good afternoon, everyone. So today our topic of presentation is regarding improving retention to ART at ART centers. Maybe some of you may find it not a right time to talk about this because everyone is busy in COVID duties and there are different scenarios at all the ART centers. Some are working from some different place and patients are at different districts and trying to manage drug dispensation. So may not be the right time, but like it is our basic thing which in under program we have to ensure for the retention. So I will go through the slides, and there are few things which I have added as a new. Otherwise, most of the things are already discussed at different platform with the with all of the staff at ART center. So we will go through the slides one by one. If there is any question, we can take it at the end of the session. So basically the objectives of this session is to understand the concept and the importance of the improving retention, understand various stages of care continuum, enlist probable cause of losses, and understand the action to be taken and to prevent such loss to follow up or linkage losses. So there is a difference between general OPD and ART center OPD. Anyone, if you anyone have any idea what is the basic difference between the general OPD and ART center OPD? Any idea about that? So I'm not taking much time of that, and basically the point is in the ART center it is a lifelong interaction. Patient have to come every month or once in 2 or 3 months, depend upon the dispensation frequency, and so we need their retention with us. They need to be continued with us lifelong. And for general OPD, there may be like symptomatic patients getting medicine for some period and then getting cure of that, and may not need further regular follow-up with the OPD. So that is the basic difference between our ART center and the general OPD. So we need retention. We need people to continue with us, and we should have regular intensive follow-up with the patients. Basically, if we look into the cascade of the HIV care, it starts with the diagnosis of HIV infection, then enrollment in care, then initiation of ART, then the continuation on ART and the viral suppression, and improvement in quality of life. So maybe if we go to the cascade before this, that before person get HIV positive, before that it is like prevention of infection through different IEC activities and use of condom and the safe blood and these things. This information has to be given, and prevention of HIV infection, and then promotion of early diagnosis so that person can be detected when they are healthy, and in that condition once they detected they should reach at the ART center and get linked with the ART services, initiation of ART services, and then achievement of viral load suppression, and then overall impact on the population level of reduction in the transmission. So this is the whole cascade. We are basically talking about once patient get diagnosed and diagnosis to linkages, and then ART initiation and maintenance of ART. So when we want to know about how many people are retained with us, where our center is working, whether we are doing good or we are in our performance is how our patients are performing and how our center is performing, we have to do some analysis at our level, at ART center level, maybe at SACS level. So for that we need some questions which need to be answered, like how many individuals living with HIV, in our area are getting tested and are diagnosed, and of them how many are linked with the care, and of them how many are retained in care, and among that group of individuals how many are receiving ART, and those who are receiving ART how many are adherent to the ART and achieved viral load suppression. So these are the questions which need to be answered to understand the quality of services provided by a particular center. So we have to do the step-wise analysis and to identify gaps in each and every stage. So this analysis and the identification of gaps will be helpful not only at national level for the policy level decision, but at the state level also and at the local level also. To understand the gaps and fulfill these gaps will ultimately help in improving the retention or the providing the continuum of care at the ART center. So if you look at the gaps, there may be four stage 1 or 2 and 3 type of major gaps, and fourth is like patients are retained but not virologically suppressed. So it may be like quality of services or the timely intervention which may be taken to improve the viral load suppression. So stage 1 gap is like patient reached at ICTC, diagnosed positive, but did not reach at ART center. So there is a gap between ICTC and ART center. Second stage is patient reached at ART center, get enrolled with the ART services, but did not started on ART. So that is the registration to ART initiation gap. And third one is the gap between patient initiated on ART, but as of now patient is lost to follow-up or opted out, the patient is not retained in care with the center. So that is the stage 3 gap. And stage 4 maybe I will say that is also a gap, the retained but not virologically suppressed. We are having a patient retained with us, but that we know that patient is not virologically suppressed, but we are doing nothing. So that is again a loss of the program, not the linkage loss, but loss to the program, that patient is suffering and we are not doing anything. So these type of 4 gaps we have to take care. So like if we talk about all the stages of loss to follow-up, there are different places where patient can miss from the linkages. Like from ICTC to ART, patient was not linked timely or whatever happened with the patient did not reach at the ART center. So there is a linkage loss. Once patient reached at ART center, because of any reason, once they did not turn up after 1 or 2, 3 visits, and they are termed as pre-ART defaulters. Before ART initiation, they just defaulted, did not turned up. And again, the third stage is after ART initiation, there are some deaths or the loss to follow-up. So this is increasing in the loss to follow-up. In the Jagjit Singh Ghazal, in the famous, we can say like चिट्ठी ना कोई संदेश जाने वो कौन सा देश जहाँ तुम चले गए. These are the LFs used for which we can say this. And because we are not having any contact with them, we don't know where they are and why they are gone. So to understand who these are patients, those who are going to, those who are pretend to LFU, and why they are lost to follow, why they are not coming to us in spite of getting diagnosed at government ICTC, in spite of getting enrolled at ART center, but they are not turning up. So what are the reasons? Who are these patients and why they are not coming? These questions has to be answered. And third thing is why they have not shared their correct information with us. Why they are not having confidence in us that they can share their correct address or correct phone number with us. Why they are not caring about their own health. These are the questions which need to be answered. If we get the answer of these questions, definitely we will be able to improve our retention. So the challenge is we diagnose more, we get them enrolled, we are going 2 steps forward, but out of that some of them lost because of various reasons. That is the 1 step back. We are moving 2 steps forward and then 1 step back. So there is a significant loss at various stages, and biggest is loss is basically to maintain adherence of the people on ART. So these are different stages which we have talked. There are different type of linkage loss. It may be lost to follow-up, it may be transferred to other ART center, it may be registered at other ART center without knowing about the same at the parent ART center or the first ART center. It may be patient may died and we are not having feedback about the death, or we have confirmed feedback about the death or the transfer out. So these are the different type of linkage loss from the retention. So let us enlist the probable reasons why people get miss or why people get lost to follow. Number one may be it was late diagnosis, patient was in critical ill condition, and just after enrolling at ART center, just within 1 or 2 days, patient died. Or because of illness, not able to move, not able to come to the hospital. It was diagnosed late but not reached at ART center because patient is bedridden and not able to go to the hospital. Or it may be like ICTC referred patient, but patient reached at a time at ART center when ART center was about to close and the proper information was not given and patient did not turn up on the next visit. So it may be like that also. It may be like ICTC level post preparedness, post test counseling was not done efficiently and patient did not get any information about nearest ART center of his home and patient did not turn up at the ART center where the actually ICTC has referred because it was adjacent to the ICTC, but patient is not ready to go to that center because patient is from some other state or some other district and have to go there because of some social issues, and the information was not provided about the nearest ART center of his home. So that is again a type of ICTC ART linkage loss. Baseline assessment was not able to performed on the first day and it was not at all done and patient was not satisfied with the services provided and again there is a loss. ART was initiated but without the preparedness, or ART was delayed without any obvious reason. It was like sonography was ordered for all the patients those who get enrolled at ART center without any symptom. They were just sent for the sonography and there was a long queue or long waiting period for sonography and that delayed the ART initiation. So patient may get frustrated and not ready to come back. Nobody is asking about the adherence or nobody is caring about actually about the assessing adherence and actually assessing or actually like doing the pill count and this thing. There is a difference in between these two things. So whether people are doing just the pill count or doing assessing actual adherence, that need to be known. And retention, if we want to know about the retention, we have to calculate 12-month retention and then know where the people are being missing within the 12-month period of ART initiation. Similarly, viral suppression, how many of our patients have underwent viral load testing and out of that how many are having suppressed viral load. Suppressed viral load is an indirect indicator. I will say that it is an indirect indicator of quality of services, that patient is taking timely medicine and having enough knowledge about the adherence, maintaining adherence. That's why the viral load is suppressed. So it is an indirect indicator of the quality of services provided by the ART center. So if we want to know about these gaps, we have to do the cascade analysis right from diagnosis to registration and then the ART initiation and then the retention. So first stage is diagnosis to registration. We need to know how many patients are not reached at ART center after being diagnosed at ICTC, and out of that what were the reason based patient wise reasons we should have. Okay, this patient is not registered because patient belongs to some other district. This patient did not register because a patient reached at ART center at the late hours and our staff has denied for registration at that time because the baseline investigations were not available. XYZ, whatever may be the reason. So we have to enlist the reasons for particular group of patients, those who are not reached, and then take action accordingly. Then second is from registration to the OI diagnosis. There are patients, those who are enrolled with the ART center, but because of delay in their OI diagnosis, see, HIV is not having any symptom. Whatever symptoms are there in patient, it may be because of some other OIs. If we did not diagnose OIs timely, if we do not respond to their symptoms, patient may not feel well. Even if you have started ART, you have done the HIV diagnosis, you have started ART, but the OI is not diagnosed, so the treatment is not started, patient symptom may not get improved, so patient may not feel satisfaction with the services provided by us. Even if we are providing monthly ART and providing very good counseling services, but the OI is not being treated, patient will feel unsatisfied and patient will ultimately go to the somewhere else to get the answer to their symptoms. So if there is a delay in OI diagnosis, if it is completely missed, or if there is a treatment delay in the OI, definitely we are going to have some linkage loss. So we have to analyze, like, out of those registered, how many are lost before ART initiation, whether they were having some OI which was diagnosed and not treated properly, or whether they were enough investigated for the OI diagnosis. What was the reason? So that reason has to be explored for each and every patient. Like our forest screening should be at 3 stages. First is at the level of CCG, then at the staff nurse, then at the medical officer level. I am not going in the detail of forest screening, but again, if it is a robust mechanism of forest screening, we may not be missing any TB positive patient. But if it is like casual forest screening by the CCG, it may be possible, like we have missed forest positive patient, we have termed them as a forest negative, and ultimately their TB diagnosis get diagnosis get delayed, and their symptoms may not get relieved, and they will go to the some other physician, maybe in the private or some other hospital. So we have to do proper forest screening. Those who are forest negative should be initiated on IPT for TB prevention. Those who are less than CD4, less than 350 CD4 should be initiated on CPT. So whether there is any delay in forest screening, IPT, CPT initiation, whether there is an understanding gap of staff, who have to be given CPT, who have to be given IPT, what is the mechanism of forest screening, these may be the possible reasons behind the gap in registration to OI diagnosis. Then the OI treatment initiation, then the ART initiation. There may be some gap in ART initiation. See, if you have a mechanism of doing initiating ART after getting some baseline investigation, CBC and LFT and RFT, you have some mandate at your hospital level. You have to do some sonography, and you have given instruction to do CBNet for every patient, or sonography for every patient, or LFT, RFT for every patient, and your hospital is not having sufficient kits available, and there are some delay in because of non-availability of kit or non-availability of labs resources. So what will happen? Your ART initiation will get delayed. So ultimately it is going to affect your retention. So we have to identify how many patients are ART was not initiated within 10 to 15 days of the registration, and what was the reason behind that, why the ART was not initiated. Is it the lab related issue, is it the radiological investigation related issue, or is it the investigation which we made compulsory, otherwise these are not the baseline investigation as per guideline. So what is the reason behind that? That has to be looked into, and then accordingly we can take action. Adherence, it is the lifetime patient has to take tablet at the right time, in the right dose. So there may be different level of challenges different type of patients are facing. There may be social challenges, there may be personal challenges, there may be issues like time management and status disclosure related issues. So we have to be very careful. We have to talk each and every patient on every visit about adherence and their challenges in maintaining adherence. They may be frequent travelers, they may not be able to get the medicines at place where they are traveling. So we have to talk about these things, what are their plans, how they are managing. So these things has to be discussed, and then we will be able to understand their challenges and give them solutions. Again, a cohort analysis has to be done to understand the 12-month retention. And viral load, those who are eligible for viral load, how many of them has underwent viral load testing, and if they are not having suppressed viral load, then when their time ART initiation, next line of treatment was initiated timely or not, that has to be clearly known. Because I have seen many patients with the high viral load, but they are either they were not referred to SASEP, or because of some reason their next line of treatment was delayed. So this may ultimately affect your retention also. People may get like, our symptoms are not being resolved, my health condition continuously deteriorating, I am not getting improvement in my condition in spite of taking medicine regularly, but actually they were taking the failing regime, and they were not being switched to the next line of treatment, which actually they should be. If they were switched, they will their condition may have improved. So that may be the reason. So we have to carefully look into our data and to find out genuinely what are the reasons behind our low retention, or where are the gaps in service delivery. We can do analysis based on median baseline CD4 count, based on point of entry and linkage loss association, based on like different group of people ANCs, KPs, which particular group of people are more prone to having linkage loss. Like it may be children, it may be KP population, because every group of people have their own different challenges. So we have to identify particular group of people where the linkage loss is high and take appropriate action accordingly. And uh, it may be like patients on efavirenz based regime having experiencing side effects to that. So there is like particular efavirenz based regime patients are having more linkage loss. So it may be like clearly like side effects, counseling about the side effect and how to manage, how to deal with the side effects, that was not properly explained, and that's why there are linkage loss in particular regime based patient. So we have to do analysis. Okay, those who are lost to follow up, out of that how many were on particular, how many were on a regime, on a different regime. So that percentage has to be calculated, and then if there is a gap, there is a significant difference, like a particular regime patients are more lost to follow up, then we have to take action accordingly. Particular age group patients are more linkage loss, or the gender wise, like females are not able to come, or some transgender or KP population, they are not able to come during the OPD hours. So a particular area of resident people, they are coming from the tribal areas, their frequency of transportation is very less. They are not able to reach at the ART center during the OPD hour. By the time they will reach, the center will be closed. So that may be the reason of our linkage loss. So if we do the analysis according to these different category of patients, then we will be able to identify, okay, these are the reasons because of them my retention is low, and I have to take action on this particular reason to improve my retention. There are some case studies there is one, this name is hypothetical, that Mr. Ramesh is recently diagnosed as HIV positive. ICTC has referred this client to nearest ART center. He reached around 2 p.m. at the ART center, and care coordinator at center told him that sample collection is closed now and you have to come on next day. But patient did not turn up again. So what is your observation? I will give you some 2-3 minutes for answering this question. What are your observation, and if you are at this ART center, what will you do? So voluntarily you may type your answers. We will take 2-3 minutes to get this answer. Anyone? What are your observations from this case study, and if you are at this ART center, what you will do? Nobody is typing. Multiple attendees are typing. Okay, so I will, in the interest of time, I will go to the next slide. Participants can write their answer. I am not answering right now for this case study. Again, a second case study is about Mr. Mohit, who recently diagnosed as HIV positive and a CD4 count is 789. He is clinically well. On his second visit, ART was initiated. After 3 doses of ART, he developed nausea, vomiting and abdominal pain. He told his relatives that ART worsened his condition and hence stopped ART. So what are your observations for this case also, and how, if this case present to you, what will be your approach for this? Am I audible? ART, Bathinda is saying no audio. Praveen ji, am I audible?
Sir, you're audible.
Okay. So these are the two case studies which we have discussed. Still I am not getting answer from anyone. I will wait for another 2 minutes and then go to the next slide. Okay. So, point here is like in the first case study, this what we have discussed in the previous slides also. This may be the reason if like sample collection is closed and we are not able to we are not enrolling patient. That may not be the practice at the center. You can discuss with the patient and give them choice or get them enrolled and to come on the next day for the sample collection and baseline investigations. So patient must be counseled properly. Why? What is the feasible time? It may be like ICTC has sent this patient to the nearest ART center of ICTC, and without asking about patient's feasibility of coming at this ART center on the next day or every month. So it may be like patient was going to some other place, and because he was in this city for few days only, and on the next day only patient was going back to his native place or to his home. So this thing has to be discussed at the time of enrollment at ART center. If it was not discussed at ICTC, at least at the time of enrollment at ART center, these things has to be discussed. What is the feasible time for the patient, convenient time for the patient to come at ART center, and maybe the place of convenience where patient want to get enrolled and want to do the investigations. So if we have given them choice, patient definitely say, okay, I may not be able to come tomorrow. Let the basic enrollment thing done today, and I will come after 2 days, or I will be happy to get enrolled and get investigation done at a place which is near to my home. So accordingly, if the options were given, definitely we can prevent such type of linkage loss. Similarly, in this case, uh, there was issue of like nausea, vomiting, and abdominal pain. So if at the time of ART initiation, if the adverse events of the side effects of the ART particular regime was clearly explained to the patient, and patient was one like these type of things may happen, you need not worry, and if it is aggravating, if it is like you are having serious type of side effects, you should report to us immediately. We can change your regime, we can change your medicine at all, completely change the regime, and if these are mild symptoms, we will give you the treatment also. So that type of counseling has to be done at the time of ART initiation, so that patient should be aware like of, okay, if I get symptom, what I have to do. Or it may be like this type of nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, and abdominal pain. These symptoms may happen because of some other OI. It may not be like ART, because of ART only. So patient has to be provided information like if you are getting any problem like any GI or respiratory, whatever, any clinical problem, you should report to ART center instead of taking decision on your own of stopping ART. That message has to be passed clearly at the time of preparedness counseling and at the time of ART initiation. Again, this is the third case. Like Asha is 6-year-old HIV positive child. Her parents have died and is currently living with her grandmother. She is initiated on ART, but visits are irregular. She often misses appointment for many months and comes back when her condition deteriorates. Her grandmother gives reason for lack of finance. So what are the observations for this case? Again, this is a basically a child not able to come because of lack of finance, reason given by the grandmother. We can talk with the grandmother, we can take the help of some NGO or the Vihan project staff, care and sports center staff, and we can facilitate their travel, we can provide community level dispensation, we can facilitate their traveling, or we can identify some other caregiver or we can have different mechanism under the program to like in Gujarat we have a travel reimbursement policy from the state government, so that can be the option for this type of patient in particular state, if there are like any social schemes for the travel reimbursement. So we have to explore different options like with the help of NGO, with the help of care and support center, Vihan staff, or the any social scheme which can be provided to the patient, or the dispensation from community or dispensation from the link ART center. If person is stable, so we can think of dispensation from other places also. This is a case study of 14-year-old patient who is HIV positive and in own ART since last 6 years, is stable, is keep asking his parent that why should I continue the medicine. Now this is like something called a treatment fatigue. Since last 6 years patient is taking ART very well, stable on ART. Now you want to know why I have to take medicine daily, even if I am healthy, why should not I stop the medicine. So here we need to do intensive counseling for continuation of ART, because this will be really going to, if we are not taking care of adherence at this point, patient may start missing the dosage and ultimately patient may become lost to follow. So these questions of patient has to be answered, because patient is an adolescent patient having this issue of like why should I maintain the adherence. Mr. Ranjan is a well-to-do person. He is on ART for past 1 year. He is an habitual alcoholic, irregular in follow-up, discontinued medication for varying period of time, 1 week to 6 weeks. Questioning, he said he was sick of taking medication. He don't want to continue medicine. Now he comes with a request to ART7 that he will be regular, want to take the ART again. Now medical officer tells him to sit down and he will be given medicine at last. So is this the correct approach? Those who are habitual irregular patients, or habitual alcoholic, or like habitual offenders, you make them sit and then provide medicine at the closure of your OPD. Is it the right approach? I think we should have some mercy factor. We should have some factor like we should forgive people for their previous attitude, because of it may be because of various reasons, maybe the alcohol, maybe the treatment frustration, maybe the like not having enough knowledge about the ART, how it works, and if I will take it regularly, what is going to my condition will improve, my health will improve. These proper information are not available with the patient, and patient is habitually not taking medicine. So we should have a counsel. We should counsel this patient properly and provide them medicine. No need to make them sit and to provide at the last. It should be as per their like whenever they are in the queue, as per their number, they have to be dealt. So there may be various reasons why patient not taking ART. If we talk about the personal level reason, patient may take, I was on holiday, I was out of city and it produced heat in my body. Different type of, they are taking some Ayurvedic medicine. They have like perception like nothing is going to kill AIDS, HIV. I have taken alcohol and just forgot. I just forgot. Sometimes it is also like chronic illness patients. They are like they have taken medicine and they forgot whether I have taken or not. And sometimes they get confused. I have taken, but actually they have not taken, and they miss their doses. So this thing also happen with the chronic illness patients. So we have to have some different strategy for them to make them like they remember when they have taken, or whether they have not taken the medicine. Some have their own perception like I have taken medicine for 6 months, that is enough, why should I continue? So again, everything written over here in this slide basically a counseling issue. We have to counsel patients about continuation of medicine and to identify their issues and to give them solution of the issues is the only way of strengthening the counseling. System related, it may be like multiple pills have to be taken, so pill burden may be the issue, or the drugs stock, availability of stock may be the issue, proper counseling, proper explanation about the medicines, about the drugs, about their doses may be the issue. In case of children, the size of the tablet, number of tablets may be the issue. Long queues, long waiting period at the center may be the issue. Distance of ART center from the home may be the issue. So these are the system related reasons, and if we able to identify these issues, we will be able to give solution. Like if the center is far away, we can plan for the new ART center or the link ART center or the community based DSD sites. If there are queue, again, if we plan DSD and link ART center, we can reduce the queue. Multi-month dispensation may be the option. Drug, number of pill, more tablets are there, we have to do the counseling, and now we have dolutegravir, and that has also reduced the number of pills, so that may be the option, but not to be given directly. That will, I say that it may not be like those who are having more number of pills, they will be substituted to DTG based regime. So we have to look at that thing has to be looked on case to case basis. If like generally patient is taking 2-3 tablets, or like on ATT and ART, both drugs have to be taken. If ART is like second line or third line having multiple pills, there is no other option, they have to take that number of pills. So we have to reassure and counsel them how to take that medicine properly, so that they can be able to maintain their adherence. One analysis was done at national level regarding reasons for the loss to follow. This was a short study done in the 2017, and it was understood that there are majority of the patients have loss to follow with the 2-3 major reason, like I am feeling better, I don't want to continue ART, I am healthy, or the side effect of the ART medicines, and travel related issues, and not having enough time due to some personal obligations, and the fear of status disclosure. These 5 reasons for the major reasons behind the loss to follow. And if we look at the time of ART, time of loss to follow, again there were issue, like those who were initiated on ART during first 3 months, there are majority of the loss to follow happened within the first 3 months of ART initiation. So with this study, we are like we can say, like in the early period, during the initial 3-month period, there are chances of loss to follow, and there are 4 or 5 major reasons of loss to follow, like side effects, or the finance problem, or the personal reasons, or feeling healthy. These are the major reasons which are because of that there are chances of loss to follow. So if we analyze our data and try to understand what are the prevalent reasons in our particular center, we can take action accordingly. We can manage these reasons and make the solutions for them. So first 3 to 6 month period is a crucial period. Side effects and the proper counseling is the major causes of loss to follow. There are period of vulnerability that what we have discussed. It is possible to identify probable loss to follow. If we are vigilant enough, we will be able to identify those who are probably they are at risk of getting loss to follow. So like if you are very vigilant, you can say like बहुत पहले से उन कदमों की आड़ जान लेते हैं, तुझे probable LFU हम दूर से पहचान लेते हैं. You will be able to identify LFU during the initial phase of registration only. You will be able to think like, okay, this patient is going to become LFU if I am not doing proper counseling. There are chances that this patient will go LFU. Maybe patient from other state, patient from other district, patient with financial issues, patients are chronic alcoholic, there are chances of becoming loss to follow. So we have to take due care for preventing such LFUs. We have to be more sensitive. We have to do proper counseling for the particular reason of in these particular patients, so that we should prevent these loss to follow. This we have discussed, that forgiveness factor should be there, that in particular this case of Mr. Ranjan, the psychiatrist or the peer counselor will help to maintain their adherence, to continue that his treatment. So we have to have some to-do list, like after confirmation of ICTC diagnosis, So all patients have to be enrolled at ART center, and how we can ensure that everyone has got enrolled at the ART center, and there should be some mechanism of ICTC ART coordination, and patient must be guided from the ICTC, like you have to go with the address proof and passport size photograph at the ART center, and the ART may not be started on the first visit only. There may be some baseline investigation, there may be some counseling, and then your ART will be started. So you may have to visit the center 2 or 3 times. And if patient reach that ART center without address proof or the passport size photograph, ART may not be denied. If patient reach at the time when the investigations may not be possible at that time, registration should not be denied. So they have to be registered with the ICTC report, and the proper counseling has to be done. Why the investigations are needed, why the passport size photograph is needed, why the address proof is needed, and accordingly patient has to be provided enough information about these things and importance of this, and to bring this in the next visit. Then at the ART center there should be a preparedness counseling. What is the importance of ART, and why baseline investigations are needed, and if there is any other OI is diagnosed, then what are the issues, why that OI has to be treated first and then ART can be started. So sometimes if you are suspecting some abdominal OI, some TB or something like that, you have to do the sonography, and there is you know that in your hospital there is a long waiting period for the sonography. You don't want to lose your patient. You can talk with your nodal officer or talk with your radiologist for the early appointment for the patient. Different hospitals have different strategies. Some have, like, if a patient report at the radiology unit with the green book, they will give the immediate appointment. Or if you are not having such type of mechanism at your hospital, you have to discuss this under the steering committee of your hospital, of your ART center. That need to be steering committee meeting has to be done once in a quarter, and in that meeting this issue has to be discussed by the nodal officer about the long queue or the long waiting period for the sonography. If that can be dealt, your OI diagnosis can be the time taken for the OI diagnosis can be shortened, and timely OI diagnosis, timely initiation of OI treatment ultimately help you in starting ART timely. Once patients are started on ART, we have to ensure that patients are taking medicine regularly. So we have to support them. We have to identify one caregiver, and we have to have their phone number. Sometimes patients not share their correct phone number with us or correct address with us. Sometimes they change their phone number, and the changed number is not being shared with the ART center. So we have to have a rapport with the patient, that whenever there is a change in the phone number or the address, patient will inform us. So that type of rapport should be there. On each and every visit, we have to ask about the correct phone number and address, and update the records in our these things in our record, so that patient should be properly consulted and timely called. If patient misses the appointment, we have to do the phone calls within 48 hours, and to know the reason why they missed their appointment and what help we can do for maintaining their appointments. And those who are not able to come, that line list has to be developed, and that has to be shared with the Vihan staff or the outreach workers for their home visits. So these are the things which we have discussed in the previous slides also. So basically to understand the reasons, and then reason based approach has to be taken. If patient is having some OI, that treatment has to be started. Like TB, patient is having TB, so the TB treatment has to be started, and patient has to continue this TB treatment and complete the full course of TB treatment. So we have to do the additional counseling, because there will be additional pill burden. So we have to do the counseling about importance of TB treatment. Even if the CD4 is low, patient has to take cotrimoxazole tablet, and patient is not sensitized enough about the importance of cotrimoxazole. Patient may not be taking that if we are not talking about this during the regular monthly visit. So we have to talk why this tablet has to be taken, what is the benefit of taking this tablet. That has to be discussed properly. And adequate, as we have seen that adverse drug effects are the one of the common reason behind the loss to follow-up. So we have to be very careful. We have to discuss about the patient's understanding on the ARV drug effect, side effects, and how to deal with that, and how to maintain adherence in spite of having side effects, that has to be clearly discussed. Barriers in maintaining adherence has to be listed out with the patient during the counseling session. We have to list out the barriers. Okay, what may be the different type of barrier, like patient is having some herbal medicine, or uh, patient is alcoholic, or patient is coming from a distant area, whatever. Patient is having some psychological problem, or some social problem, not feeling well, or some having some preoccupied problem like in family, or the in with the relationships, and because of that having some negative feelings in mind and not able to maintain the adherence. These things has to be clearly discussed during the counseling sessions, and should come out during initial sessions of counseling, so that we should give a solution to the patient. Sometimes during SASEP, we came to know that patient was not taking medicine regularly, just because of fear of sharing, he was not taking medicine regularly. Patient was having some fear, like if I share it at ART center with my counselor, they will feel bad and they will not entertain me. So just because of that fear, they have counted their medicines and bring that exact number of pills which has to be which are to be there in balance, and they just make ART center full, staff just full, we are maintaining our adherence. And at the ART center, people are just counting medicine and just saying okay, 100% adherence is there. But at the time of SASEP, when we talked with the patient, we came to know that actually patient was not taking medicine at all since last 3-4 months, just because of some preoccupied issues of like family issues, or some relation issues, or some other psychosocial issues which are disturbing him, and we are not taking medicine just because patient not want to live, and because of the fear of the staff, he is not disclosing this issue with the ART center staff. So these are the common problem which we are facing. So again, the counseling is very important. We have to do proper counseling. We have to discuss in each and every visit about the problems, about the family, about the relationship, about the caregiver, about their ability to take medicine in different scenarios. If they are going out of home, if there are some uh, uh, invitees at home, some unknown person is there at home, some uh, different type of clues has to be given. Okay, if this happened to you, what will you do? How will you maintain your adherence? If there is some death in the home, if there is some function in the home, how will you maintain your adherence? If you are going out of city, how will you maintain your adherence? Different type of scenarios has to be given to understand what patient is feeling and how patient is maintaining the adherence, so that we can have clear idea, like okay, these are the issues, and we should give some solution to that. There may be some financial issues, so that has to be understood. Where patients are storing medicine, what is the convenient time of patient to take the medicine, how they make themselves okay, remind this is the right time to take medicine, and if I will forget after that, what will I do? Maybe a chart or that paper for that, just to crossing, like okay, the morning dose taken or evening dose taken, like that. So if your normal routine get interrupted, how will you take your medicine? So these things has to be discussed, and agreed upon decisions has to be taken for dealing with such things. These are the options which we have given for the system related challenges, like testing in the field, community level testing, or the self testing is still in the pilot phase, index testing. So this will increase our testing coverages. Those who are aware but not on ART, that is the second 90. So test and treat, that is the irrespective of anything, irrespective of CD4 count, patient has to be started on ART. ART expansion beyond the ART centers to the link ART centers or to the differentiated service delivery sites. Intensified LFU tracking services for getting patients back to the system. And for third 90, we have scaled up viral load testing and for ensuring the adherence. So community-based testing has to be strengthened. Self-testing, it is NACO is aiming for the pilot testing of HIV self-testing. Still, it is not there in program, but community-based testing already implemented, and we have different NGOs, those who are like Vihan projects, care and support centers, or in the TI sites. We have started community-based screening in some private hospitals also. So where the even in the PSC level also there are testing has been started. So this will help us in bridging the gap. Again, this community-based testing will be only screening. So those who are positive from the CBT, they have to be sent for the confirmatory test for the standalone ICTCs. So that gap, there should not be any gap between the uh, uh, community-based testing and screening testing and the confirmatory testing. After patient get linked to the after patient get detected at ICTC, patient to be linked with the IIT center, there is a unique code which has to be shared, and master line list has to be updated, and this several test and treat activity, and these are the activity which we have launched, which we have discussed in the previous slides also. So now HIV TB and treatment as like single window approach is for the HIV TB services. Mission Sampark drive was there for reaching to the long term linkage loss patient loss to follow patients. Service deliveries are decentralized. Regularly we are conducting CMEs or NDLS sessions for improving the knowledge, or for those who are new, they should have idea about the services. So there is a definition about the stable patient, those who are more than 1 year on ART and doing well with the ART, and there are no OI, not having any side effect, having enough good knowledge about the adherence, and doing like their CD4 is good enough, and their viral load is suppressed. We can say that they are doing well with the ART, and we can think of multi-month dispensation for them. As of now, before this lockdown, we have given this MMD for the TLE and ZLN based regime patients. But now during this lockdown period, we have given MMD for most of the patients, even on the second line and third line also. Now the challenge is, even if they were not stable, we have given medicines for more than 1 month, and even if, without seeing the patient, we have dispensed medicine. We have sent the medicine to the patient home. Because of this issue of lockdown, patients are not able to come to the AIT center. So we have to be very careful in our now after this thing, and we have to do the phone calls and to ensure that patients are taking medicine regularly, patients are maintaining adherence, and they are not having any side effect, or they are not having any other problem with the ART. That has to be clearly understood, and we have to take some steps at ART center level to make a habit of doing phone calls and knowing that patients are doing well or not with the medicines. So otherwise, those who are having high viral load at the first site for first phase, then we have to do the intensified counseling and to do the second viral load after the 3 month of step of adherence. And those who are newly initiated on ART, during the initial 3 months, we have to do the intensified counseling and rigorous follow up on even on the telephonically or in the each and every visit to ensure that patients are continuing ART, and even if they have any side effect or any other thing, they will continue the medicine. So different type of linkage services are there. We have discussed like community based. If KPs are not able to come, we can initiate dispensation through the TI sites. So that may help us to reduce the stigma and improve retention. Community based model can be helpful for this thing. Regime which are safer and having less side effect and are having less pill burden and having good profile, like no side effect or lesser side effects, and having good viral load suppression and high resistant profile, so high resistant barrier. So we can say like this DTG is the good medicine, and we have introduced this as of now for the third line patients, those who are on Reltegravir based regime. Within very short period, we will be having DTG based first and second line regime also. That will otherwise also help us in achieving our targets and our viral load suppression rates. So, early initiation of treatment, management of advanced HIV disease. These are the things which we have like for the improvement of retention, access to social entitlement. U is equal to U may be the one more strategy like undetectable, untransmittable. So if we use this message during our counseling, like if you will be able to maintain your viral load as suppressed viral load, you will not be transmitting infection to the others in your family. So that has to be used for the maintenance of adherence and retention. U is equal to U will help us like from mother to child. If you want to reduce the transmission to the child, you have to maintain 100% adherence and get the viral load undetectable. If you want your spouse will not get infection, you should maintain your ART and undetectable level of viral load. So points are empathetic approach, talk politely, listen actively. Misappointment patients, punishing may not be the solution. Non-verbal language and communication to be used to realize the importance of visit. Retention, and even in the not only the retention of EL-HIV, the retention of staff is also important. And we have taken several action at state and national level. Recently, medical officers' salary was increased. It was a long pending issue. And there are several actions were taken at SACS and NACO level. Believe me, everyone in the state and national level, they are having concerns about the ART staff. They are knowing your challenges, your problems, like multiple level of entries has to be done. Your like IMS or the master line list and everything they know. Your workload and everything. Because of that, they are giving different options, different strategies, like DSD has come and this viral load testing has come up, then this DTG is there. So there are different strategies which we are trying to get as a solution for the problems which our staff is facing at ART center. We have to work as a team, not only at ART center but at ART center, at SACS and at national level. Everyone has to work as a team. I will say either to just remove your personal egos or personal problems and just work as a team. Like there are, I receive frequently from people like XYZ person has not helped me when I was in need, and now if they are in need of my help, why should I help him or her? Like चुपके आंसू बहाना याद है मुझे, तुम्हारे वो मेरे काम में हाथ ना बढ़ाना याद. लोगों people make like okay, when I was in need of help, I have to go to the on leave and nobody was there to come and take my charge. Now why should I take the charge of others? So this type of behavior, this type of ego problems that create troubles in the center. So early follow-up action, not only with the patient, early follow-up action with your colleagues. Just see what is the problem, why people are having some ego problem, why people are not talking with each other, what are the issues in the hospital, in the ART center. Someone has to take the lead in the ART center, preferably the SM or MO has to take the lead, and without having bias, to make people understand and to make a team at the center that will help in improving the work. These are some examples of teamwork. If they can work in team and for any cause, for their entertainment, for whatever reason, why not we can work at a ART center where we are working for a noble cause. So thank you to all at national level, like Dr. Naresh Goyal sir, DDG sir, Dr. Rajshekharan sir, Dr. Evari sir, Dr. Vimle sir, Dr. Manish for continuous guidance and support. Our APD, Dr. Rajesh Gopal sir, and CST team at NACO and SACS, all ART center staff, ITEC team. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. And I will only say most of the problems at ART center level are because of the lack of team building, lack of discussion between the team members. This is my these lines are from my heart for the ART center staff. Believe me, we all are, not only me, not only Gujarat SACS, every SACS and NACO persons, they are worrying about you and they have some feeling for you and they want to improve your working conditions. but there are issues, there are things which are beyond our control, and there are some challenges which we are also facing, and we may not be able to give what as per your expectations. But sometimes when we are supporting you, and but you are not able to send the reports at timely. Sometimes people knowingly not working properly, just intentionally they are not working properly, and we are supporting them, and we feel like जख्म कितने तेरी चाहत से मिले हैं मुझको, सोचता हूँ कि कहूँ मगर जाने दो. Sometimes when we try our best to get the medicines at the ART center, whatever enough stock of medicines, and getting the salaries at time, and getting the annual increments to be done at time, but we are not able to do, then again we feel like आज फिर दिल ने एक तमन्ना की, आज फिर दिल को हमने समझाया. But it is a part of our work. These are the challenges we are having in the program. We are going to face these challenges, but we have to work on all these challenges. In against all the odds, we have to work as a team, and we have to work to improve the quality of work at the center, to improve the adherence, and to improve the retention, and to improve the suppression rate at viral load suppression rate at our centers. So wish you all the best, and thank you very much. If there are any questions, we can take. There was one question from Rama Pandian. U is equal to U. How for reliable, sir? That is reliable. If undetectable level of viral load is there, it may be untransmittable. So we have to we can use this. Undetectable means zero. It may not be like less than 1000. Undetectable is not detectable at all. So that has to be understood. Pawan is saying that we are providing medicine to all clients during COVID period, irrespective of their parent ART center and different. Yes, what I have seen is during this COVID period, I have seen team building at the center level. I have seen team building at ART and care and support center. Within ART center, people are taking responsibility of others. At ART and CSC, they are working jointly for the betterment of patients, for providing medicine at the home of the patient. People are going in field, risking their own health. So I think this is the right time. We have developed this team. This team has to be continued. This rapport, this team, this has to be continued for I will say lifelong. RDNP Plus says that third number case study, please repeat. I think now we may not be able to repeat that. You will get this like link of this recorded session. You may go through that. Yes, there are some comments like patient should be counseling about drug adherence. He can become permanent LFU. Okay, so
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for this informative session.
okay,
Thank you,
take the
participants, for
questions
patient
afterwards,
listening.
and
Please
if
enter
there
the
are any
e-poll that will
pending
be
questions,
displayed
I
on your
will
screen
answer
shortly.
them, and we will share those questions